Hi everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to the second edition of MyLnk webinar. While we wait around for some more people to join in, here's a short video for you about MyLnk. Join in, then we'll begin. So, like I said, here's a short video.
In an online world where over 1 billion links are shared every day, uniqueness is the only way to clicks, fame, and success. Custom links are as unique to you or your company as custom cars, custom suits, and custom jewelry, says Sid, our digital hero. Say hi to Sid. Sid loves sharing. He shares food, rides, and loads of online links to amazing stuff. But he has a worry. Even with so many online friends, he never gets enough clicks on his links. His passion for online got him a job as an online marketer in a growing company, but his worries continued. He found it difficult to attract people to click, and when they did, measuring the success was a bigger problem. This was till he found MyLnk. With this awesome link customizing, shortening, and tracking platform, he is now the talk of the town, as his links do all the talking. He customizes every link with the message he wants to say. His boss loves it when he shares awesome instant reports and compares online campaigns in a jiffy. His friends love it when he tells them the correct time to share online and all the cool places the clicks are coming from. Sid is now making boring long links exciting, and his company an online sensation. Sid is a digital hero. MyLnk.
So you just saw a short video about MyLnk. I'm sure it has intrigued you to go and try out MyLnk. I'm sure all of you all want to meet Sid too. So anyways, coming back, thank you everybody for taking out time and joining the MyLnk webinar series. So here we will be starting the second edition like I spoke about. I'm the marketing consultant in MyLnk, and this series is to more talk about marketing and have discussions around it, right? So the previous webinar, we focused on personalized marketing. So this time we would be discussing the future of digital marketing in 2019 and beyond. Marketing, as you all know, is constantly evolving, may it be digital or offline. It becomes imperative for marketers like us to stay on top of trends, to not miss out a possible campaign. So today's webinar is to facilitate you to do better marketing, keeping the trends in mind in the coming years. Welcome again to everybody to the MyLnk webinar series. We have two speakers today, Swapnil Bhagwat and Neil Sinha. So the idea this time was to bring in more perspectives and discussions too, right? Giving you a short introduction about both our speakers. Neil Sinha is the founder and principal consultant at Infactor, and I am alumni and an engineer with over 25 years of experience in sales and marketing. Neil is a thorough marketing and sales geek. His company, Infactor Solutions Private Limited, is recognized as one of the 25 most promising consultancy in Bangalore, working with Fortune 500 companies on their marketing, sales, and content and design requirements. Neil is also accredited with creating an office humor comic strip called Norman Liker. Thank you, Neil. Welcome to the MyLnk webinar.
Thank you, Akshara. Good being with all of you today.
Great. So we also have Swapnil. Swapnil is a digital marketing leader who has been redesigning the customer experience with personalized marketing for both B2B and B2C enterprises. With over a decade of experience working with businesses across the globe, he champions personalization and marketing as the key to doing better business. Welcome, Swapnil, once again in the MyLnk webinar.
Thanks, Akshita. Hello, everyone. Good to be here today.
Great. So before we begin, a few things, guys. Please use the Q&A window to type in your questions in any time during the webinar. We shall be addressing them either during or at the end of the session. Also, there is a poll question, if you see, which says, do you want to know about customizing links and its uses based on your interest. Do take part in the poll and give in your answers, right? And there are also some web links if you see on the screen. Okay, so over to Swapnil.
Thanks, Akshata. So, hello again, everyone. It's glad to be here once again and connect on this topic, which is digital marketing in 2019 and beyond. So, as Akshata has rightly pointed that the content marketing or digital marketing overall, it's always evolving. What trends or what as marketers or businesses we were doing 5 years back, we are not doing that right now, or we are doing that in much more improved state. So let's get started. Let's see what's the session highlights for today. So we would be discussing on voice search, how video marketing would work and how it would boost your brand voice. We'll be also talking about paid advertising and what's the correlation between data and analytics. And the next one would be how we could use content marketing and how we can architect that for customer acquisition. And the eventual point would be the role of personalization in the marketing strategy. So let's get started on voice search. So as you could see in last couple of years, voice search has really evolved. Whether it's Google, Siri, or Alexa, Cortana, it's we as users we have this habit of okay Google just tell me this, and you can see the stats. It's significant that the kind of rise in terms of the voice search has happened last couple of years has been significant. So according to statistics by Comscore, they are predicting that 50% searches would be by voice in next 2 years. So by 2020, most of the searches, like 50%, would be by voice. So that's pretty incredible that how the user experience and the customer experience is evolving, and most of the users are adopting to voice search. We have some more relevant stats which actually tells about the number of adults using voice search in a day. So this is a stat from Location World where there are like 40% adults are using it, which is also pretty incredible, knowing the start of voice search isn't like a decade back. It just last couple of years it has evolved and people started using it. This is another very interesting very interesting fact from Gartner that they are saying all the search by next 2 years, that's 2020, would be without any screen. So whether it's Google Home, Alexa devices, people wouldn't be looking for mobile devices. And now with increase in IoT and other connected devices, people started using their appliances like refrigerator or smart devices to asking the question. So that's going to be huge in next couple of years.
Quite agree with Swapnil with the Alexa, Siri, and even the Google Homes that's coming up. I think most of us would be searching only using our voice. On this context, there was some questions that I wanted to ask. So Swapnil, how voice search is different than the traditional search methods?
Sure. So basically, the traditional search and that focuses. So generally, we call the search is SEO, right? So traditional search is and SEO focuses on keyword terms and how you can rank your website. However, voice search tends to focus more on searching in a conversational way. So sometimes it makes the keyword less important in the search. So using voice search could potentially cause completely different website to rank if a user is searching in a traditional way. So, and again, voice search is more fun as this technology is evolving and people are more getting excited to that. So this is one way to look at it. Is very exciting than your traditional way of searching.
Okay, that was very informational. I'm sure a lot of us will be going back to voice search on it. So another question is, how can we optimize the business of brand websites for voice search?
Okay, so we just have to understand as we went through the first question, that it is the traditional search is more SEO focused for keyword, and we had to use more conversational keywords on your business website or your brand. So one way of doing it is for, I'll give an example. So somebody is searching for good pizza in Bangalore. He might just type best pizza in Bangalore. But when people are using voice assistant to conduct a search, how they generally speak in a very conversational way. So a person who is craving for a pizza will probably ask something like, "Where is the best pizza in Indranagar? What pizza places deliver near here?" So if that particular person in location A, he would like to look for more local search. This another way we can do is we can optimize the business website for your local search. Plus, as we all know, Google is more focusing on mobile devices. So we need to also optimize the website for the mobile devices. If I think core marketers generally they are aware that when the last algorithm update happened from Hummingbird, it actually changed everything. It changed the way people used to do search, and that's the time when Google actually started promoting more voice search.
Quite interesting, Swapnil. Thank you. There's one more question from one of our participants, Azim Juneja. He asks, are these stats based on Indian users or globally?
These are mostly global based. So as India is not that mature in terms of voice search, people are just getting started. Whereas US around in next 2 years there would be around 65 million users who get connected in home and offices by voice devices. So it's mostly North American region.
Sure. I think there's another question by Jitendra Jagwani. Did you have any stats on the move towards voice search?
Yes, so as you can see here in the stat that around 30% searches would be done without a screen, so which includes your Alexa devices, Google Home and Cortana, Siri. Siri is still very much connected to your mobile, but other smart devices would be. Plus, there's another significant statistics which I was just mentioning about the number of users. So around 65 million, that's a huge number to achieve in next 2 years. People, all the offices and homes would get connected by voice search. And it's not only about voice search, it is more on the holistic picture is about connecting all your devices with IoT. So voice search is one of the way how it's going to rule next 1 or 2 years in specifically for digital marketing.
Great. Thanks, Swapnil. I hope we have answered both the question. Jitendra Jagwani has, I'm interested in knowing the current stats on voice search. I think Swapnil has shared that previously, Jitendra. Possibly we would be after, in the continued discussions in the webinar, you would be knowing much more stats. Okay, Jitendra is saying that no, he would be, so we shall be moving ahead, and then we'll come back to this question once there is. Sure. So over to you, Swapnil, again.
Sure. So the next trend which as a part of next year's marketing would be ads, data and analytics, how we could actually use that. So, and I think everyone is aware now what the role of data and analytics in paid advertising. So whether it's you are doing a PPC campaign with Google or LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So one very important point here is to understand how data would help us in personalizing the customer interaction. It actually helps you to drive the long-term marketing growth as well as your short-term brand goals. So whether you are a team of maybe you are a team of big corporate or a small startup, it doesn't matter. But when you align that objectives with your data and available web analytics specifically, it actually helps you in your achieving your short and long-term marketing goals. This another one which is very interesting. It actually helps in understanding your customer decision journey. So most of the time when we basically create, and this is very traditional way of looking into things, that when you start creating buyer persona and do reverse engineering and look into your how your customer journey has begun. So every customer journey or decision generally begins with an intent, with a search, with a need. If they really require that, we can just get started on that. There's another one which is really interesting is it identifies and plans content that shifts buyer down to the sales funnel. So generally when we look into creating a end-to-end sales funnel, the role of data has a significant effect there, and obviously when it aligns pretty well with your overall business strategy, whether it's your e-commerce or non-e-commerce company or brand, it aligns pretty well your social, mobile, user experience, your advertising and ad tech and market, creative and social. So this actually helps you. The point or the role of data and analytics is actually at a central place of your overall business strategy. You can see one more very interesting stats from Salesforce, where here they had done a pretty big survey. This is specifically for the United States, and they had done a survey where 57% customers, they were ready to share their personal data in exchange of getting a personalized offers or discounts. So that's amazing. Means here customers are getting ready to receive offers from a small or bigger brand to get promotional codes, and I think this is the way next year 2019 and 20 we would be seeing a lot of rise in terms of personalized marketing.
That's a very interesting statistics that we possibly have to note it down. Coming back to the previous discussion, Swapnil, there was one question we missed out from Rahul Ambulkar. Voice searches affect paid marketing? You wanted to know whether they affect or not.
Yes, in one way it affects, because generally when the example I gave you for pizza, that when we do a traditional keyboard search term, it gives we are very mechanically built. I think everyone we know the terms nowadays like best or top, so we generally try to search that. But when it comes to when we generally have voice search, it's very conversational basis. So it could affect in one way, but again, there's no data or research which is currently could back that up that it is affecting voice search, because unfortunately we have not seen any paid ads on your Google Home or Alexa devices. But yes, eventually I think next couple of years when more people would have, it's just like a search engine. When Google started, they didn't have many ads, but now it has evolved over a period of time. They started taking ads, so it would affect in next couple of years.
Great, thanks, Swapnil. We had some questions before. We have couple more questions from the participants before we answer them. There's one question that I wanted to ask Neil. How can marketers track real-time campaign data?
See, thank you, Akshata. So basically, when you talk about campaign data and when you're talking about marketing, I think they almost go hand in hand, right? Marketing cannot be complete or cannot evolve unless we have the data. So it becomes very important that we get data. Now, data is of, when you're talking about marketing, the data could be of two types. One is post facto. You have data and then you have summarized the data from last year's campaign, or maybe a campaign which is going on which got over in a couple of quarters ago. But there is always the real-time data. Things today are changing so fast. We talked about voice search. That wasn't really the the in thing just about 3 quarters ago. Even today it is just evolving, right? So when we are talking about data, real-time data is very, very important to marketers, and that gives you the flexibility and the ability to actually recover your investment and go back and course correct your the investment that you have done in marketing. So it's very important to do a real-time data. Now, how do you do real-time data? Almost all social media platforms give you real-time data. Facebook has its own, Twitter has its own, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. Everybody has. Now, what the problem occurs is we don't have too many people who can actually correlate and make sense out of the data. in time so that they can go ahead and course correct their campaigns. And campaigns are expensive. All of us know that, right? So we've gone live with a big campaign which is coinciding with a TV campaign, radio campaign, and social media campaigns. But we do not have data. How do you do that? So there are new platforms emerging which give you real-time data. I mean, you can actually check out data real time, and if it is simple, then you can actually understand. I mean, you have Google Analytics, which will give you real-time data, but somebody who understands Google Analytics will possibly be a marketer or will be a technical guy more of to understand and pass on the data to the marketing team, which will really understand that. Now, at the bottom of it, everything what we realized was that it is no matter what, the clicks matter the most. If somebody has clicked on it, he has taken action, and if he has taken action, that is what we are looking for, right? So if he has seen your video, he has understood your software, but unless he has clicked on something to buy or to show his interest, that data is useful, but that data is less useful than the data about talking about clicks. So that's why we have this MyLnk, of course, not just about MyLnk. The real fact is the real-time data analytics, be it the kind of user, the user demographics, the location, the type of devices he's using, all that is being used today by marketers to figure out how they can make their campaign data or future campaigns better. So there are tools. Look for some of the real-time data tracking tools, which will give you better insight into how your marketing campaigns are running, and in future how you can make your campaigns better.
Great. Thank you so much, Neil. I think being a marketer, I think there's two more questions from our participants which possibly you can answer for us. One is from Vaibhav Bhatnagar, who wants to know, for a B2B organization, what tactics would you use to get accurate buyer persona?
So that's a very elaborate question, and like everybody on the dais says, it's a very good question. It's a very would require a long and elaborate answer as well. It is not easy to get a accurate buyer persona. I mean, you typically would be investing a lot of money to get that persona itself. So I mean, this is so for a B2B, you need to B2B. Though the decisions are made by individuals, it is the company persona is what you're trying to target when you're talking B2B, right? So when you are talking about a large fortune company which is into IT systems and hardware and infrastructure, is trying to approach a large bottling company which is into global soft drink sales, we need to understand how the company moves across the world to make a impact with their sales people, I mean their procurement people. It is about the persona of the entire organization. It is not about a persona of an individual. Though of course today social media would target individuals, and when you do a LinkedIn ad or you do a Facebook ad, you are actually targeting an individual. But the decisions when you're talking about a B2B would be largely to do with the way the company behaves. So there are two different things when you're talking about persona of a company and a persona of an individual. I think B2C personas are easier to obtain because they are much more crystallized in terms of the way their preferences, choices, everything. But in a B2B scenario, different requirements, different products, different solutions would require a different kind of persona approach. So it would be good to have, I mean, if required, you can just drop in a mail to the ideas that you have, and we can have an offline discussion on that as well.
Great, thank you, Neil. I think you summarized it in a nutshell very clearly. There's one more question on voice search, which is very interesting, and I think we should address it. Swapnil, we target and serve to an audience that is majorly Hindi speaking. Do you feel voice search would be useful when the command is not given in English, as the Janta may start searching using Hindi? This question is by Shiraz Musa.
Yeah, that's correct actually. So as you could see now, most of the mobile manufacturers started coming with their local phones with languages like Kannada, Tamil, Gujarati, and same is happening with search. So you go to your Google search, and on the home page it asks for a language. So currently we just have to understand that maybe doing that localization, specifically popular languages like Hindi or Spanish or local language like Gujarati, Tamil, Kannada, it wouldn't happen right away. But because you have to understand there are two things. One, what target audience is yours? Are you really targeting someone in urban area or rural area? So where, and the voice searches are actually useful when you have a typical audience in mind, and for them you are optimizing. So yes, I think with the way this technology would mature and more devices would get in the picture, companies have to do, and especially a country like India, where in next 30 years or 40 years, our population would be close to 2 billion, and that's a huge customer base for any brand, whether it's a domestic or a foreign brand. I think they have to optimize and localize that, not specifically for Hindi but all other regional languages.
Great. Thank you, Swapnil. I hope Shiraz, Swapnil has answered your question. There's one more question which Shailendra Chowdhury has put forth, mostly on the personal data collection that's being done for personalized marketing. I would request Neil to answer this. He asked, what about breach of privacy?
Yeah, Akshata, thanks. So that's a very important question floating around today. I mean, everybody is worried. The moment we talk of marketing, we talk about privacy being breached, whether it's a calling effort or if it is a data being collected by choice or by the nature of the way we are. Technology is evolving. We live in a world where our privacies are already breached, right? So we have smartphones, and somebody out there is tracking our movement. Somebody is out there is tracking our choices. Now, we talk about privacy breach more when that information which is already available is being used I won't say against, but then is used to sell us something. So marketing is all about the generic concept of it, right? So I go and advertise on a very, a hoarding, or I send out an email to everybody and I do a voice search which finds out a whole host of information for me. That is a very generic data. So by nature, marketing does not do so much of a breach of privacy. But the moment the marketing converts to sales is where the breach is felt, right? So that means individuals are actually trying to figure out what you do so that I can take a sale. So privacy is a major concern. We are coming out. There are tools which are trying to protect it. Though they have the information, they make sure that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. MyLnk is also a tool where we do not at all collect the private information of the individuals that are clicking on MyLnk. So therefore, it's a completely non-privacy breaching tool. And yes, privacy in every campaign we should be very careful about, especially when we are collecting information through forms. Irrespective of what mode you use, whether you are telecalling and asking them for information, or you are uploading a plain, vanilla, simple-looking website with some forms which ask the customer data or the individual's data. So we should be very careful that we have our safeguards in place. We should be very careful about protecting the data that we have collected, pure trust from the customers. But yes, we should be extremely careful, because today we are living in a world where the data is just floating around, and we are all aware of the risks that are there. So let's be careful. But marketing, honest marketing, actually does not lead to so much of a breach as we are scared of.
Okay, thanks so much, Neil. I think you have answered it pretty clearly when you are saying personalization is important, and in a way, the personal data that most of the marketers collect is used to help you get products or suggest products to you that are more relevant than showing you different ads. But at the same time, ensuring that data privacy is kept as a priority is very important. On the data and analytics, we had one more question from our side, which to Swapnil, which is how a small business can use big data that drive revenue.
Sure. So I think here we have to really understand the context of data. So generally, when we talk about it's a buzzword more as a big data, but there are different types of quantitative and qualitative data which carry small, medium, and big scale data. So I think brands, or whether it's small or big, they have to look more into the data patterns than just reports. I think any marketing efforts is very effective when and only we can measure it. And specifically when we are talking about how big data could be used, it's all about volume and velocity. So we can use different tools to make sure that we are tracking the data properly. And one more thing about data, it depends on what kind of industry we are using. Are you using for financial trading? Are you using for security and law enforcement? Or whether it's optimizing your healthcare or sports performances? So when we talk specifically about data, it's about more about the usability and how well we can track that with standard analytical systems. Specifically nowadays, you could see all the web analytics and social media analytics, which gives you, specifically from a marketing standpoint, which gives you a huge levels and different levels of information. And that's the way I think we have to look into it. But again, analyzing the data or using it cannot be done by one person. I think you need an integrated effort by the team, and you also require the right tool to track the data, not only the historical data, but also the real-time analytical data.
Great. Swapnil, there's one question from our participant on the paid marketing part, wherein he's asking, in paid marketing, on which audience we have to focus more in future, mobile audience or on desktop audience for more B2B conversion?
Yes, I think we had to really make that balance, because B2B, if you are looking, then yes, desktop is very ideal. Mobile, but you cannot ignore that. So, but there is a very interesting fact here. When a couple of different agencies, they had done some surveys, they found out when it comes to e-commerce conversion, whether it's B2B or B2C, they had more conversion on desktop compared to mobile. And generally, you all of us are seeing as marketers, there are a lot of articles that go mobile first, and Google is trying to push mobile, and that's absolutely correct. But when it comes to conversion and sales, people are more comfortable buying it in terms of e-commerce conversion rate, more comfortable buying it on a desktop. So you really need to have a very great balance between optimizing or providing experience on the desktop, or whether it's B2B or B2C user. You never know whether you are your target audience is a CTO and he's on his LinkedIn mobile app. So you cannot ignore that possibility, nor a CEO who is just checking his email and getting a web notification for anything. It could be LinkedIn or any other platform. So we really need to, as a marketer or as a big or small brand, we have to make a great balance between both of them.
Thank you, Swapnil. Just before handing it over to Swapnil to continue the presentation, just a reminder, there's a poll which is asking you whether you want to know how to use customized links and its uses. Do ensure that you participate. I encourage all of you to participate in the poll. Back to you, Swapnil.
Yeah. Thanks, Akshata. So moving on, we would be talking something very interesting, that's video marketing. So I think video marketing is something which has started picking up in last couple of years, and it's the most in thing right now. So we will be talking how exactly it's going to help you right now in this year as well as next year. So first, it's your 24/7 salesperson. So you really don't require someone doing cold calling or email marketing. So they can just go to your website or any popular channel like YouTube or Vimeo, and they can see what exactly is your product and what are the customer testimonials, how exactly it would benefit them, how that product could solve your problem as a customer or user. So videos really, it helps in boosting the sales and conversions. So this is something which a lot of marketing research agencies, including Gartner and KPMG, have looking into that, how year on year we are able to increase sales with videos. It also helps you in building trust, building credibility online. So when it comes to I think all of us, when we use search in last one decade, how Google has evolved, when you wanted to do a keyword search, it was just a normal web search. Now then they started coming with images, then they started coming with videos. So now you can see the importance of video, how it has evolved over a period of time, and how it's going to rule in next couple of years. A very interesting thing about brand videos is it really helps you in creating a lot of social media engagement. So videos mostly started on YouTube, but then it spreaded across Facebook and LinkedIn. Being a B2B platform, LinkedIn is pushing extremely hard to get more video views, and similarly now how Instagram TV has started. So you can see how this pattern of promoting more videos and how it's going to helpful for your brand. And again, in the world of Instagram, where your shelf life of a post is extremely low, there's something called a snack ads have started coming, where it's a video which is less than 10 seconds, and most of the influencer marketers are using it to promote relevant brands. Moving on, we have, as I was talking about the 10-second snack ad, there is a research done by Cube Module, which is one of the biggest company in the US, and they came up with a very interesting stat that the audience have uh, attention span. They have segregated that in different seconds and minutes. So around 89%, that's close to 90% actually, people have engaged during the ads of below 10 seconds, and that's pretty remarkable. Like if you are running a TVC which is like a 2 minutes or 3 minutes, people have very less attention span, and this was done specifically in the United States. They have done the pretty. I think they had around 20,000 plus participants, and they have done this research. So, which is very interesting to see how video is going to rule your marketing in next couple of years.
Great. So we have one question from the participant, Abhinav Diman. What should be the video's duration for B2B?
So it depends what exactly you are trying to do. Are you trying to do a customer testimonial, or you're just trying to specifically look for a feature, or is it a quick bite from a CEO to, he's just trying to uh, share some thoughts on related to your brand or business. So it really, there is no standard set of rules that you should have that. But yeah, knowing the trend and how people are, as you can see in the strategy, like a lot of people are not getting engaged in larger videos. So I think I would recommend to have small bites of the same video. You can, if you have a product, a B2B product which is selling servers, so rather than making a video of 5 minutes with 10 different features, you can just create a 30-second or 20-second video with one specific feature and post it. And I think it's going to help you. Again, we'll be discussing that in content marketing bit, but it will also help you to spread and boost your content asset library.
Quite agree that videos have become a very integral part of any marketing campaigns now. So there's two more questions that we had, more from our side. One of it was, what are the key channels we should use for promoting any business or brand videos?
Sure. I think everyone is aware of YouTube. We had to, with the popularity, we had that the second largest search engine after Google. So YouTube is must. While doing YouTube, I think we should must optimize that thumbnail with a proper and standard design. I think these are the known practices, but a lot of people forget to add a pretty interesting thumbnail. And a lot of research has happened on this particular bit, where thumbnail has been what kind of we can use it. So I think that is one thing. Another one we can use is in terms of specific channel. You have Dailymotion, Vimeo, LinkedIn. You can obviously send that with LinkedIn marketing, email marketing, and there's always a huge scope in after introduction of Instagram TV. I think these are the channels which you could use. Another thing you can use is instant messaging services like WhatsApp to share the videos for your brand.
Okay. Yeah, I think IGTV has somehow become an important part where everybody is wanting to put out videos there. There was one more question that came in, which is, how can we personalize brand videos to maximize open rates or views?
Okay, so there are two things here. One, we have to understand the definition of how we can personalize the videos. As I said, like couple of things really need to take care is you have to customize your content very much. Have some interesting thumbnail, add buttons like share, so it could be spread across the network, and one more thing here is like personalized video or personalized whether you are using that for YouTube or for Facebook, it's going to become a bigger part of your marketing mix. The way we are trying to all the platforms are trying to fit in videos in next couple of years, and even they are starting. So it's not we're not talking something about it's going to happen in the future. All of us we could see on LinkedIn or any other platform that how these individual providers are pushing videos. Yes, so we have to when it comes to personalizing these particular videos, we can always do event invitations and send email campaigns. And again, this question is again links with what we had discussed earlier about data and analytics. So you have to align that pretty well, and then based on that data analysis, that days of mass emailing has gone now. So it's all about how we can do one-to-one marketing with proper customer experience or user experience.
Sure. So I think personalization is important. It's not just enough to make the video, it's also important how we distribute this video and bring it forward to the customer. So moving ahead, over to you, Swapnil, to continue the.
So the next bit which we will be talking, and I think a lot of us are already aware, is content marketing. How we can architect the content to get maximum impact for your brand. So all of us are, I think, aware, and people who are not marketers generally when it comes to content marketing, it's a mix of various things which includes and standard one is blog articles, which most of the personal bloggers or corporate blogging website they are doing it. You share a template, for example, an Excel template or a presentation template or checklist like 10 best ways to optimize your website for Facebook or optimize your post for Facebook or 20 must tips for optimizing your landing page for Google search engine. So these are like some checklists which could be used. Another part of the overall digital assets would be, or overall digital content asset would be case studies and white papers, which is very much popular in B2B. Podcasts, if we are trying to get into B2B forums, that's pretty much useful. Ebooks and e-courses. So with increase in virtual education and e-learning, I think e-courses are trying to get into this picture. A lot of big corporates they started their own academy, whether it's big data or analytics, data science. So these are even medical. Couple of medical institutes they started e-courses for that for their users. Infographics, video that we just discussed, webinars that we guys are connected today. So that's an incredible platform. All people can get connected from different parts of the world. If you are targeting potential audience, webinar is a very good way to connect, and at least it could be educational, it could be understand what the customer feedback is, or a one-to-one conversation. So that could come as a part of your personalized marketing also. Customer testimonial, which again aligns with your webinar and one-to-one marketing. We have infographics, online games. These are another ways we can make your brand. A lot of mobile companies they started doing online games. You play some games, earn some coins, and you can redeem at the time of checkout. So these are very good ways of engaging audience and making sure. And this is another way, because one thing you have to understand, this is content marketing is not going to work as a separate vertical. Everything is very much aligned, and this is the perfect marketing mix. So we have to make sure it's content and everything is done properly. And you can see the related stats on the screen.
Thank you, Swapnil. It's interesting. I think Rahul Ambulkar had a question which Neil is answering for. So the question was for brand awareness, what's the video duration we need, and for conversion, how much duration we need? Neil, I request you to answer that.
Yeah, sure. So Rahul, I was just answering your question because I thought might as well share it, do some chatting with you as well. So Rahul, it is depends upon what kind of video you have there, right? So typical average duration of videos on YouTube is 4 minutes, and Facebooks are much smaller. And if there is an interesting content, people actually watch through the video, irrespective of the duration. That is what has been found. So now, depends upon what you are sharing it as a story is important. And the second thing is, suppose if you have a duration, I mean a video of a duration, a particular duration, typically first 40 seconds and last 30-40 seconds are very important. If you have a duration of say a 4-minute video, right? So you must have your important message in the first 40 seconds and towards the end of the video. That's how people are expected to remember whatever they have seen. And rest of it is either useful for entertainment purpose or just to reiterate whatever you said in the first 40 seconds. So does that work for you?
Great. Thanks, Neil. I think it was very precise answer to his question. Adding on to that, there's one more question on content marketing. How can we make content more effective for every social media network?
Yeah, so thanks, Akshata. So this is, I think, leading up to whatever I was saying just now. People are on social media, we like them or not. I mean, we like it or not. So social media, including WhatsApp. WhatsApp is one of the most, though we don't see so much of ads there, it's not gone business yet. But people do share videos on WhatsApp a lot. And about other social media, LinkedIn, there is purely business. And so therefore, you need to figure out which platform, what are you targeting, and then share your videos on. So the question was, how can you make it more impactful, or how can you make it more effective for the social media? So you need to figure out what kind of audiences that we have. We spoke about a persona-based question earlier in the session today. Now, if you are targeting, crowd which is a B2C customer, end customers, I think Facebook would be a better, platform for you to target. The messages and the actors and the content would be more targeted to a more, a local kind of an appeal, because consumers are generally of a local base. They have demographic preferences, they have opinions, they are very strongly biased towards whatever is happening around them. So a content which is based around that is more likely to be accepted by users if it's of B2C nature. B2B is mostly depending on your product. It is either your efficiency driven, productivity driven, transformation driven. So these are the messages that you need to carry, right? So based on what you are selling, your theme of content, because in B2Bs, though one guy might be the influencer, but obviously he is going to take that message to somebody else who is again helping him decide or might be the decision maker themselves. So we need to be careful about what kind of content we are sharing on what social media platform, and also the kind of content what works on B2C may not be really be a great thing on a B2B platform, right? So does that answer your question?
Yes, very much. I think you cannot handle a B2B and a B2C content in the same way. There's one question that I want to direct to Swapnil. If any business has already implemented content marketing, then how can they improve it?
Okay, so I think as we had discussed earlier, which and even in what Neil has pointed about creating personas and how we can do so, it all goes hand in hand. You have to, if you are already doing content marketing and it's working or not working, no matter what, you have to understand what kind of data, current data is there in hand. You have to reevaluate the objectives for your content marketing. Create content for every stage of your customer journey. So I'm not sure if someone is trying to doing a lot of blogging, a lot of infographic videos, and they are not able to convert. So this is one way of looking into it, and know what is your audience and your goal. So I think earlier question when Neil was talking about effectiveness of making content on social media, he has covered that briefly about how there is no perfect customer persona that you can create, but understanding and understanding the audience and creating the goals and researching their needs is going to be key when you are trying to reevaluate your entire content marketing plan.
Thank you, Swapnil, for answering that. There's one question from the participant, Azim Juneja. What are your thoughts on brands working with industry-specific bloggers? Is it a win-win for a long term?
Yes, of course. So this is mostly we are talking about influencer marketing, and it goes pretty well until that influencer is still an influencer. So if he's able to, for example, a lot of you might have seen specifically from B2C perspective, a lot of stylists which they recommend watches or tie or blazers, shoes on their videos, which they have some incredible followings of 1 or 2 million users. Until unless it is relevant, it is going with your brand. There's no problem going with this personal blogging. Whether it's a small one, and there's a new concept called micro influencers also in place, so you can definitely check that out.
Great, thank you. There's one more question which is interesting. Is there any way to check the content quality of a website? Asks Vikas Deman.
Yes, there are different ways to check the quality. One is the plagiarized content, so you can check that whether what kind of that content is not taken grammatical. Obviously that's a thing which not for search engine but for more like active and passive voice. So in that way you can check the content quality. Of course, some interesting and humorous content helps. Combination of videos and visual always helps to enhance your content, and you can engage the users more. So in that way, and there are different ways where you can brainstorm with the team, get everyone's understanding, and as we had discussed earlier, create understand your audience, look for what they are actually looking for, rather than promoting your product or features. Focus more on solving their problems.
Great, thank you. I think we will just move on with the presentation. Swapnil?
Yeah. And one of the very interesting part, and we are in the almost in the end of the session, that how personalized marketing it could help us. So we can see, and over the period of time, we had seen that personalized marketing is amazing. It creates greater engagement compared to normal form of marketing. It gives you better ROI from advertising. Obviously, when you link your data analytics with your content videos, and when you go as a holistic picture, when you execute this strategy, it improves your customer experience. It increases your brand affinity. It obviously increases your customer base. It focuses more on content marketing, which includes your social messaging, branding, videos, email marketing. So it obviously helps a lot when we see the benefits and pros of personalized marketing. There was a very interesting research done by Salesforce that around 51% customers by next 2 years would expect that companies should anticipate their needs and make it more relevant. So that is huge because as we have seen over the period of time, more customers are looking for, like a lot of e-commerce companies are, if you are looking for a product for a mobile, then they start selling you if you want to buy a mobile case or mobile cover or some related accessories. So this is the way personalized marketing is going to grow in next couple of years, and you have to that's a must have in your marketing arsenal.
Thank you, Swapnil. I think that was a very interesting presentation indeed. We have Rahul with another question. We really are enjoying all the questions that's coming from Rahul, very engaging. In B2B content marketing, where we have to focus more on social media content or on blogs content? Swapnil?
Yeah. So I think you have to again do a balance. So I always recommend that we should have a proper balance of everything, because you cannot have one. So you cannot say that I'll do only SEO and no social media, or I'll just do videos and no content marketing. And again, in content marketing, if you look more deeper, there are different forms, as we had spoken earlier, like infographics, case studies, white paper. So you have to figure out, you have to understand what your audience is really looking for. If you are selling a water bottle, your audience is not going to look for a white paper. But if you are selling something B2B, whether it's a hi-fi computer or a internet system, then basically they would like to look into the specs and what exactly or what the earlier customer experience had. So you have to have a good balance, and that's why we generally call it as a marketing mix, which is a combination of all these things, whether it's email, social media, personalized marketing, influencer marketing, emails, videos, data. And I think that's the way you have to look into. You cannot go ahead just by focusing on one vertical.
Very truly said. So it has to be an amalgamation of various things that's coming together to paint that picture that you're looking to reach out to your customers. So we have just one last question, which I would like to direct it to both Neil and Swapnil. What are the recommended tools that can be used for personalized marketing? I think.
Yeah, so I think we can get when we spoke about real-time marketing and personalized marketing. I think these are different tools available, and those track a lot of things. So I would like to introduce you guys to MyLnk. It's a very innovative marketing analytics platform which helps you to track your users in real time. I think this has helped a lot of different brands on a B2B or B2C level, and it's going to really make difference when you are trying to pitch to your current users, or you are trying to retain or acquire the new users. That's the way we can. This is just not a typical tool which would just shorten your link. It's more a solution to personalize your marketing campaigns, whether you are a marketer or not a marketer. Means if you are just owner with a team of 5 or a corporate with a team of 50, it fits in both business model pretty well. And I think in that way you can look into it. Yeah, I think Neil can take over and explain this more.
So thanks, Abdul. I think it's overall we had a good presentation and we have got a lot of interaction engagement there on the webinar. So which was really good. I mean, so MyLnk, just because we are almost out of time, just to give you, I can run you through a live demo of MyLnk if you so require. And just go ahead and click on the yes, and I would know if more people are really interested in seeing a live demo. It just take around maybe less than 5 minutes is what it would take for me to run through a live demo. So I would know that you're interested, and I would go ahead with the live demo. Otherwise, if I can just walk you through the 3-4 slides that I have. So I'll just give a minute to figure out if more people are interested in seeing a live.
Yeah, just adding on to that, guys. If you want Neil to run you through a demo, please click yes on the poll, and he will take you through a live demo.
Sure.
Right?
So I'm seeing a lot of actually yeses on wanting to see the demo. So let me just set it up. It takes around 2 to 3 minutes for me to run the live demo.
So how about the rest of the guys? Why don't you take part in the poll and give us a big yes, as we're going to run a demo of MyLnk for you guys.
Right, so can you guys see my screen now? Yeah, so I can't see you guys now, so I'm assuming that you are seeing my screen. So MyLnk was actually, just give you a 30-second brief. MyLnk was born with the idea that, hey, in India we do a lot of marketing, but lot less than the people in the West do. And obviously a lot of marketing is about tools, but it is also a lot of it about the people knowledgeable and wanting to do it, and how much of investment we want to do on marketing. So MyLnk was born with that idea that if we can create a tool which is low on the investment front as well as low on the requirement for a huge marketing brain to be sitting and doing all sorts of marketing activities, Excel sheets, and giving you all sorts of data which is you may not really utilize, right? So MyLnk is a platform which helps you personalize your marketing simply, easily, and within a very, very realistic budget. So this is the opening. You go to mylnk.in, mylnk.in, and then you get to this home screen where what you can do is you can just go to any YouTube video or your campaign page or whatever you choose to be. I mean, I'll just click on the first video that comes, the Doraemon video. So I take this, stop it, I just take this link, I put it here, and I customize it. I just say I like my son, right? And you can go ahead, and in the time it takes for me to actually talk to you, you can just type it out. I like my son, mylnk.is/I like my son, and you will see the video. Right. So now you don't have to browse. So you don't have to tell your the audience of your marketing campaign to figure out or to remember very complicated links, and you can actually go ahead and
Neil, I would
take the link.
Sorry.
Right. So
Neil, I would request you to copy that link and possibly paste it in the Q&A section. So
yeah. So
possibly somebody would click and
wait till
see
the
for
Q&A
themselves.
section for me. I can't. Where is the section here? Okay, so for some reason I can't seem to be able to figure out how to do that, but it is just mylink.is/I like my son. Right, so you did that. You got that?
Yeah, I have shared the link on the Q&A
So while you type that out, let me go ahead and tell you something more. Right, so you can see now we are talking about marketing real-time personalization of a link which is totally unknown, very difficult to share with anybody, and you have customized it with something like, very simple and personal to people. You can name it as the next best thing in the world, the best laptop computer, the bottle that saves energy, anything, right? And you can share that. So people can actually remember that on your WhatsApp messages or over a phone call. Now let me show you how does it cost you. First 30 days are free, it's on us. Right, so you just try it out. And after that it is 800 rupees per month, and that is like the cost of a couple of cab rides that you do today. You go ahead and you get all these features. You can check it out because I promised you 5 minutes. I won't take you through all the list of features that you can do. But one very important and nice feature is you can actually decide when your links expire. So you share your house location where you are having a party, or you share the location of an event with your customers, and then tomorrow you don't want them to turn up there, you just go ahead and delete the original link. Right? So that way, even if they have the link, they will not see where to go. So that's very personal and actually protects your privacy. Right? So more so often you can explore it. I can share, just drop me a mail and I can share a mail with you, and it will explain to you how you can go ahead and do that. And let me sign up for sign in. Sign up is again the regular feature. All of us have shopped enough to figure out how to sign up. So I wouldn't go through the sign up thing. I already have an account, so I'll just sign in. Right?
So while we are at that, there's one more question, interesting question from Asim Juneja that has come. He says, why is link customization better than just using link shortening? Yeah, it's personalization, but does it offer really that big an advantage for a marketer to actually use it and pay for it?
See, you can obviously you can customize, you can shorten a link and you can use it. But imagine you want to tell the same thing. There is a campaign you are running which is, there is a link which is pasted behind a bus, and there is a link which is pasted on your newspaper, which you are not using when you are actually in front of a laptop or a PC. You want to remember to do that, you have to have a personalized link. Nobody is going to remember the gibberish after the mylink.is/pqrst3j, right? So that is one way. And why would you give up on a chance to market your personalized message when you can? Right? So that's about it. So, and therefore the pricing is at 800 rupees a month. You're not spending a bomb to really create a personalized thing. You get a personalized link and you can get to keep it as long as you want. There are so many more. I'll just show you why you would need a personalized marketing, right? So I'm just signing up. Don't look at my password. So I've signed in. Hopefully it signs in. Yes, it did. Right, so when I have signed in and I purchased, you can see that I have run a lot more demos, and therefore there are a lot of links which I have created and which have got very less number of links, because I just go ahead and type in something and just randomly I create a link which sometimes people I don't end up sharing at all. Right, so what I do is now I create a link. So this is the home page that you will land up into. Let me go ahead and assuming that I have created a link. So let me go and touch a link where there are some clicks. So what I showed earlier was the free version. There you don't get to see the analytics. You can just get to see the clicks that got generated. But here you can actually see the analytics associated with the link that I've created. So I've just put that view thing clicked on a view for a link which I've created, right? So yeah, now I need to figure out a link with this. Yeah. Yeah. Right, so this is a month long, I mean, whatever happened in the last month, this link was created long ago, and it was created actually on 16th of October 2017. Right, so that's around the time when we were actually running demos of this tool. So if I look at that, I mean, if you look at the initial days, I can check the date for say 2017 and so that's the time when we have not created 2011. Right, so here are the awesome analytics that you would see. Which platform, which device, which countries. Obviously, I shared it in India, so except for one or two leaks, people were traveling with their devices to outside the country, so they saw it. Otherwise, most of the clicks came from India. You can see from which city. So you can actually effectively check out the effectiveness of your campaign in various cities. All this for 800 rupees a month. Right? Now we spoke about, I think, Rahul, right? Mentioned about a personalized link. Right? I think Rahul, it was Rahul, right? So I just talked about personalized link. So let's go ahead and look at another video or any other campaign that you would want me to see. So I could just go ahead and talk about water balloons, pizza, clay, glue, or something. So I have this. This is the campaign, whatever I'm trying to sell here, right? So I just take that link, go back here, put it here, and I just put it, best campaign or whatever you want me to create. So this is the best campaign, and I create this as, I can set an expiry date. I don't want it to go beyond a month, and I can just set it up. Say I just set up an expiry date as, okay, don't show me the campaign or the link, delete the link after 30th of August, and then I just go ahead and create, and I have that link created. Right. So the campaign was called best campaign, and you can see it's created here. It just took me a few seconds, and I have it here. I can share it directly from here. I can copy it and I can view analytics if I want to. So right now no analytics, so therefore I am just copying it and pasting it in a browser just for our happiness, and I look at it. Right, so you can see that video just by pasting that particular link. Now tomorrow you're running a campaign, right? Now tomorrow you feel that no, this is not the campaign I want to be running. I want him to point to, it's a sale which was going on, now it was 40%, day after tomorrow it is 20%. So what do? You go ahead, take that, and then edit the original URL. Now instead of this, I will go ahead and change the original URL to
Copying to your thing.
Sorry?
It's copying to another one. This is not the one. This is the number of clicks, if you see. It's showing a different.
Oh. So same link now, if you see, I think Rahul, for you to answer your question, now the same link which is customized now was earlier pointing to a balloon thing, now is pointing to something else. Right? So without telling the customer anything, I have actually changed what I want him to see. Right? So that is an advantage. Right? So tomorrow you have announced a sale or you want him to go to a certain page, you have to just tell him only once. And the next time on, you don't need to, you can save all your money for the promotion that you have done for a particular link, because ultimately it is the links that get promoted, and then you can keep changing whatever. Every day you want to do personalized marketing, every day you can change your backlink, the original link to whatever new thing you want him to see. So that is the advantage, right? Now Kailash, our host, is pointing that we are running out of time, so I will let you explore. You can create group links and create campaigns, which you can see here. You can buy multiple user licenses as in a corporate by adding licenses. you can download reports. You can download that entire report that you see here, which was the one link that I got here for that, which I myself did it, which is Tuesday at 4 p.m. from Google Chrome and all that stuff, Windows 10, India and all that. So you can just go down and check out all that amazing thing just by doing it, and hardly took few seconds for me to create my own MyLnks. I can see reports, I can download this, I can download custom reports for you to share it with your colleagues and bosses. It will give you your company logo and it will give you all the report for any link that you did. So actually when you are sharing a link campaign on a Facebook, it's after all the link is what you are sharing, right? It is ultimately pointing to a CTA on your website, or it is pointing to a registration page somewhere or an events page somewhere. Now, whether it is on LinkedIn or whether it is on Facebook, it does not matter. The links, if they are clicked, are captured here, and it will tell you which platform the links came from. Right now, it will show up as direct because I took it and pasted it there. If it was LinkedIn, it will show up here. If it is Facebook, it will show up here. Right? And yeah, when you're running an email campaign, you want to see which part of the email gets clicked most, right? So you can paste the same for one single original URL. You can create multiple MyLnks and then use one of them at the top of the page and another one at the bottom of the page and one of them at the middle of the page, right? For the same destination URL, which you cannot do if you just have a long URL, right? Now, depending on the clicks, next time you run an email campaign, you would know which part of the email gets clicked more. Right, so these are the big advantages that you have when you are using a customized or even a link shortener to some extent, but customized is better because the stakes are high and the cost is so low. So your ROI is always better. So why not? Right. So you go ahead and try out MyLnk. You can, like I said, you can campaign. You can actually compare. If you are running two such links, you can actually tick, and you can compare which link is doing better at what part of the day. You want to find out which day you get more clicks or what time of the day you get more clicks. Everything is possible. And the entire process takes about less than 30 seconds. At the cost, again, I repeat, the cost of a couple of cab rides. So wouldn't you do it? I mean, if your marketing becomes so powerful and yet so inexpensive, and you don't really need marketing geeks to churn out all the data and tell you, and you get Excel reports as well. I mean, typically, geeks would turn out, Excel reports. So you can download reports and you can actually get your Excel reports of all the links that you have at any point in time. So this is the screen you get your reports where you can download all the reports that you want, right? So go ahead, try out MyLnk. I'm sure it will be wonderful for you to be there on the platform. So I'm just logging back off from the screen share and we'll go back to the presentation.
Thank you, Neil, for the power run through to MyLnk. I think a lot of them found it such useful and ways to use MyLnk and how wonderful the tool is. So we have Jitendra Jagwani who said, MyLnk is a very useful tool in the hands of an experienced marketer. True, and it's easier to use for both marketing and non-marketing guys. Like Neil said, it just takes about 30 seconds for you to create a MyLnk and share it. We have Azim Juneja also who said it's pretty good. So we are hoping all of you will go back and try MyLnk and sign up and use it to boost your marketing. So I would like to sorry about that. So there are a few web links that we have given. If you see on your screen, there's a sign up for 30-day free trial on MyLnk or by MyLnk. Just click on it and it will lead you to the sign up page and to MyLnk. Additionally, if you have some questions for Neil.
So you click on
Okay, sorry. So if you have questions for Neil or for Swapnil, do drop a mail at kailash.ahuja@mylnk.in and our team will reach out to them and get back to you. We'll connect you all to help you take the discussion forward. Again, thank you very much to Neil and Swapnil for joining in. It was a very power-packed webinar, I must say. And thanks to all the participants who made time and came to the MyLnk webinar. Neil and Swapnil, you have some closing notes on this?
Thank you so much, guys. It's great to see all of you interested in marketing, especially if it is born out of India. And I would really love to see that we guys are doing great in marketing area as well. We have got great expertise to create products, solutions, services, but let's market it well as well. Thank you, and hope to see you again next time.
Thanks, guys. Great to connect here, and yeah, I think just go ahead and try my link. You can see the links below, and whatever we could cover in this webinar, we had done that, but nothing would work unless you are executing. So, I think MyLnk is the perfect tool to create robust marketing strategy in 2019. So, please go and try and see how you could use in your marketing. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Thanks to you too, Jitendra Jagwani, for being so actively participating in the webinar. One last thing before you guys leave, it would help us if you can please provide your feedback on this session. It will help us bring even more informative and interesting sessions ahead. Thank you everybody for attending the MyLnk webinar. Have a wonderful day ahead.